A rumor is taking over the NFL, my friend. And this rumor involves a decision that could completely change the future of the Philadelphia Eagles. We're talking about a trade that involves $20 million in cap space, conditional picks for 2027, and a wide receiver who was a Super Bowl champion with the Eagles, but has made it crystal clear that he wants a fresh start. What's his name? You probably already know. But before I reveal it, let me tell you why this trade is so complicated, so calculated, and so full of landmines for Howie Roseman. I'm going to break down every detail of this Bleacher Report proposal, why the Eagles are walking a tightrope in these negotiations, and what could happen to Philadelphia's offense if this trade actually goes through. But first, if you're a die-hard Eagles fan, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now, because this is one of the most important stories of the 2026 offseason, and you don't want to miss a single update. The story starts with A.J. Brown, wide receiver number 11 for the Philadelphia Eagles, a three-time Pro Bowler, one of the best receivers in the NFL when his head is in the right place. The problem is that Brown and the Eagles have reached a breaking point. Last season, Brown publicly told fantasy football fans to drop him, saying that Madden was the only place you'd find his highlights. The tension with Jalen Hurts became more and more visible. And now, according to a Bleacher Report piece written by Kristopher Knox, there's a concrete proposal on the table, trading A.J. Brown to the New England Patriots in exchange for a conditional third-round pick in 2027, which could escalate to a second-round pick depending on performance. A contract worth $96 million guaranteed, and the Eagles might be prepared to let him go for a conditional pick. Does that make sense? Let's break it down. The first thing you need to understand is the salary cap situation, because it's driving the entire timeline. If the Eagles make this trade before June 1st, they'd face a dead cap hit of $43.5 million, an absolutely brutal number that would destroy Philadelphia's financial flexibility for the entire 2026 season. But if they wait and make the trade after June 1st, that number drops dramatically. According to Over the Cap, the dead cap hit after June would fall to just $16.4 million, and the Eagles would actually save $7 million in cap space. The difference is more than $27 million, my friend. That's exactly why Howie Roseman is refusing to act in a rush. That's why negotiations with the Rams and the Patriots early in the offseason went nowhere. Roseman wants the perfect timing, and the perfect timing is after the 2026 draft. But here's where the tightrope walk begins. The Heavy.com report points to a fundamental problem in the Eagles' strategy. The longer they wait, the more they signal to the market that a trade is coming, and that weakens their leverage. If you make it obvious to everyone that you're waiting until June 1st to close a deal, the interested teams know that the clock is on their side. Why would the Patriots increase their offer if they know the Eagles are locked into that deadline? It's a strategic paradox. Knox argues that Roseman needs to navigate this situation with extreme care, adding receivers to the roster to cover Brown's eventual departure, without making it too obvious that a trade is inevitable. And the Eagles have already shown their hand. According to recent reports, the team traded picks with the Green Bay Packers to bring in wide receiver Dontavian Wicks, a 5th-round pick in 2026 and a 6th-round pick in 2027. It's a move that reads as preparation. If Brown leaves, Wicks would be a cheap replacement piece. But at the same time, that move tips off the market that the Eagles are getting ready for Brown's departure. The tightrope is being tested with every single decision. And speaking of the locker room, you can't ignore the human side of this story. A.J. Brown isn't just a number on the salary cap. He's a player who gave everything to the Eagles for 4 seasons, surpassing 1,000 receiving yards in every single one of them. He arrived in Philadelphia as one of the central pieces of a championship project, won a Super Bowl, and yet the relationship soured. There's something deeply symbolic about that. When an athlete of his caliber reaches the point of publicly asking to be traded, the question becomes, is the problem the player, the system, or the communication inside the Jefferson Health Training Complex? Whatever the answer is, Brown's departure closes one chapter and opens another. The next phase of the Eagles' offense will depend heavily on how Roseman deploys whatever resources he receives in this trade. Now let's talk about the proposal itself. Knox suggests that a conditional third-round pick that could become a second-rounder would be enough to get Roseman's attention. But does that return actually make sense for the Eagles? For context, back in 2022, the Eagles paid a first-round pick and a third-round pick to bring Brown over from the Tennessee Titans. Now, potentially, they'd receive a third or second-round pick in return. That's a significant loss in draft value by any measure. On the other hand, The Eagles already have 9 picks in the 2026 draft, so they're not desperate for immediate capital. And analyst Jimmy Kempski from Philly Voice raised an interesting point. 2027 picks may actually be more valuable for the Eagles than 2026 picks, because the 2027 draft is expected to be exceptionally deep at quarterback, a position the team may need to address at some point, depending on what happens with Jalen Hurts long-term. Adam Schefter from ESPN was direct about it in a recent interview. He said the Eagles would probably prefer picks in 2027 and 2028, because 2026 isn't a particularly strong draft for Philadelphia's needs. That supports the theory that Roseman will wait until June, collect future picks, and use that window of partial rebuilding to strengthen the roster, heading into 2027 and beyond. But here's the question every Eagles fan should be asking right now. Are the Patriots actually going to pay what the Eagles are asking? According to Sports Illustrated, Roseman reportedly asked for at least 1 first-round pick and a top 100 pick in any trade involving Brown. The Patriots rejected that kind of price midway through last season, when they offered Keyshawn Bout and a second-round pick. So far, no team has come close to what the Eagles are demanding. Patriots head coach Mike Vrabel coached Brown for 3 seasons in Tennessee, and has made it clear he wants the receiver back. But wanting and paying are 2 very different things. If Knox's proposal is a conditional third that could become a second, that's well below what Roseman has stated publicly. So either the Eagles' expectations will come down as the 2026 draft approaches without a deal, or the Patriots are going to have to raise their offer once the draft is over. And there's another factor that complicates everything: Brown's list of preferred destinations. The wide receiver reportedly communicated to the Eagles that he would accept a trade to the Patriots, the Chargers, the Bills, or the Chiefs. The Patriots are on the list, which makes the negotiation easier. But the Bills, who just acquired DJ Moore, and the Chiefs are also in the picture. What if after the 2026 draft, the Chiefs come in with a more aggressive offer? The Eagles would have more leverage, and Roseman could use the competition to force the Patriots to raise their bid. That's the ideal scenario for Philadelphia, a bidding war between 2 or 3 franchises for one of the best receivers available on the market. On New England's side, the need is urgent. The Patriots made it to the Super Bowl with Drake May at quarterback, but the passing attack was limited during the playoffs. Stefon Diggs was released. Romeo Doubs signed a 4-year, $68 million contract, but he's not a true number 1 receiver. Brown's arrival would be transformational for May, who is entering his 3rd year in the league and needs an elite target to take the next step. Vrabel knows Brown, knows how to motivate him, and has already declared he'd do whatever it takes to strengthen New England's roster. The football logic is firmly on the side of making this trade happen. The only question is the price. With the 2026 draft approaching in June right around the corner, what would be the best strategy for the Eagles? Accept less than they originally wanted and close the deal quickly to clear out the locker room, or hold firm, keep the pressure on, and try to squeeze every last bit of value out of the situation? And do you think the Patriots will actually raise their offer, or will they try to find an alternative in the draft first? Drop your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'll be back later with the latest Eagles news.